Welcome back to the Today Show. I am here with Christelle, who is a dancer, dance teacher, a business owner, and an advocate. Get ready to be inspired, everyone, so let's get started with Christelle. To begin, Christelle, please tell us a little bit about yourself and your interest in dance.
Oh, yeah. So my name is Christelle. I was actually born and raised in Timmins, so that's kind of a cool mutual fact about Julia and I, two guests from Timmins, Ontario. That's pretty cool. Me and dance. I started dancing when I was younger. I started Filipino folk dancing from a very young age, and I eventually started doing more studio dancing, tap, jazz, ballet, point, hip-hop, some acro, and right out of high school, I decided to move here to Toronto to become a professional dancer.
Wow, that's awesome. Christelle, can you share some of your previous dance experiences with us? And we would like to learn more about your story.
Absolutely. So when I moved to Toronto, I had the pleasure to have the opportunity to dance for some amazing companies and organizations. In terms of my experience as a professional dancer, I danced for the Toronto Raptors, the NBA Toronto Raptors. I was able to do a lot of work with Much Music, the Pan Am's closing and opening ceremonies, and a lot of other random different opportunities, such as music videos, stage performances. We've done quite a bit for Pride. We've done some TV work, some commercial work. So it's been an absolute roller coaster of so many different opportunities, but I don't regret any one of them. They've all been such an amazing reference experience.
Can you tell us a little bit about your experiences teaching dance?
So I started teaching dance from a pretty young age. I was a teaching assistant when I was 12. When I was dancing in Timmins, my dance teacher gave me the opportunity to be a teaching assistant. So I started off my teaching career, my learning as a teacher's assistant from the young age of 12. So it's been many years, and my teaching has evolved more and more the more I've been able to have the opportunity to meet more people, dance with different groups, and more of my teaching has really evolved when I moved to Toronto and I had the opportunity to help manage more dance companies and organizations. I managed and helped teach a company called the Girls Club, which was a commercial dance heels company. So we were teaching amazing young women how to dance in heels, prepare themselves for their professional dance career. And now my teaching has evolved primarily for teaching different individuals, children, youth, adults, persons with disabilities, and creating inclusive practices for other teachers to have the opportunity to create more inclusive and accessible dance classes.
Wow, that's awesome. I still remember when you were with Special Olympics and I took part in your virtual dance class.
Yeah.
So, Christelle, how did you come up with the idea of Dance Possibilities? I love the name, Dance Possibilities.
Yeah, I always am. Well, first of all, the name it always makes me laugh because I'm such a lover for all those like play on words. So that's kind of the word Dance Possibilities really kind of suits myself, my personalities. But Dance Possibilities really came about kind of in my early university years. In university, my teachers, my professors, all really great people, provided me with a lot of opportunities to work in programming. I've been working at a Variety Village, Holland Bloorview Kids Rehabilitation Hospital, Ability Center, a lot of great places that create programs for individuals with disabilities. And for me, the Dance Possibilities came about after gaining all this experience in creating and developing these programs. And I figured, I love dance so much. I love this work in inclusion. Why not merge them together into one beautiful practice? And it really stemmed after this trip I did to Mexico, where I was teaching. It was the first time really kind of creating inclusive dance classes in Mexico. And I thought, this makes my heart feel so whole. I want to do this full time here in Canada, in Toronto, where I'm from.
When you're teaching dance, how do you make sure different learners are all included?
It really depends on the class, because I want to say every single one of my dance classes look different depending on who wants to participate. So depending on whether they need, if they're a visual learner, if they're more auditory, if they need to write things down, my classes will range based on their needs. So usually when people sign up for my class, I usually kind of go through a bit of an enrollment process, especially for my longer programs, for me to get a better idea as to the class I'm about to teach. I put different tools, different strategies in place to make sure that we get everybody involved. But for the most part, I do a lot of co-facilitation. So I always make sure my assistants, my teaching assistants, my co-facilitators, my other teachers who are involved with me in the class kind of have an idea as to how the class will run. And if there are anything that pop up, we kind of tag team, we collaborate, and we make sure we address any needs, anything that might pop up in the class. At the end of the day, I usually say yes to everybody. And once I say yes, it's one of those, what are the right steps do I need to put into place in order to ensure that everybody feels included? And inclusion and belongingness feels and looks different for every person. So I always make sure I really get to know my students very well, and I communicate a lot with their parents just to make sure I dot my I's, cross my T's, making sure we know exactly what types of things to implement in our dance classes.
Christelle, we're going to take a commercial break right now. We'll be back in a moment.
Hi everybody, Jay Stoyan here from the Disability Channel. I just want to share some great updates for 2021. I just want to let people know that if you're interested in our accessible media programs or digital media programs, please give me a call at 647-339-6847. You could also email me or our team at j@thedisabilitychannel.ca, or just go to our website, www.thedisabilitychannel.ca. Again, our employment programs for persons with disabilities and veterans in Ontario. Again, I'm Jay Stoyan for the Disability Channel.
Well, we're back at Socially Served, and thanks for joining us. And today we're with actually a couple of people here, and I'm going to introduce them. We're with a company called Digitally Accessible, and we have Juan, Mark, and Andrew, who's one of actually a new hire on with the company itself. And I wanted to kind of introduce the company and talk a little bit about our program. The Disability Channel has been a big partner with our accessible media program in conjunction with Mohawk College. And we're going to actually speak to one of the employers who have hired one of our applicants who have finished this amazing program. And it's all about accessibility. Basically the channel has provided sort of the practicum or experiential type of learning for our candidates who have gone through the program. And right now, we're going to just talk to one of the employers who have hired our candidate and talk a little bit about accessibility. And I'm going to throw the question over to Juan, who is one of the chief operating officers of this company, and talk a little bit about how your company started. It's an interesting format that you have, because when you look at your company's name, Digitally Accessible, there's the L's are like ones, and maybe you can tell our viewers about that.
Hey, Frank, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us on the show. Yes, so my name is Juan Olarte. I'm the CEO for Digitally Accessible. The company really started, it's been a work in progress for the last 11 years. I've been doing accessibility for the last 20 years. I'm visually impaired myself, so I know what inaccessible content means for people with disabilities. Now, in the experience of working with different organizations to help them understand what accessibility is and how they can become accessible, I started to create a framework, and then I met Mark, and then we decided to create an accessibility company, really to put our expertise together and help organizations as well as individuals really understand what accessibility is. Now, you're right. So the A11Y stands for accessibility, and that's kind of like the acronym or how the accessibility and the accessibility community is known. So it really is between the two A's. There are 11 characters, and that's why it's A11Y.
Mark, I'd like to introduce you as the co-partner with the company, and maybe you could explain how you and Juan kind of came together and formatted this amazing organization.
Thank you for having us, and definitely, yes, it's funny how our favorite word that Juan and I have is serendipity, and so many things sort of seem to align with the both of us. And myself, I also have lots of years in operations and in leadership. And Juan and I, we had worked together previously in helping other companies meet their accessibility needs. And afterwards, we got together and realized that there had to be a better way. And through some strong conversations and some quick planning, Juan and I decided, you know what, we do know there has to be a better way, and we know that we can actually bring it to the forefront. So we got together. We decided that instead of always talking about it, that let's literally put pen to paper, and then paper to thought, and then thought to action. And Digitally Accessible was born. And already we were making an impact and meeting great people, helping great companies, and bringing on great resources. So we always wanted to make sure that we literally walked the walk instead of just talking about it. And throughout our organization, we make it a point to always have making sure that things are inclusive for people with disabilities is number one. And that's from our hiring practices, our tools, in our solution.
No, I think that's wonderful. And you know what? It is interesting that you mentioned, walking the walk. There are it's all about education, right? And a lot of organizations, they know they need to be compliant. They know about AODA. They know about being inclusive, but it's that education piece. And, and being able to address that with organizations and doing what you're doing in terms of your services. And maybe I'm just going to introduce Andrew to the group, as Andrew is actually a graduate from Mohawk with our accessible digital media program in conjunction with the Disability Channel. And I have to tell you that this program also is sponsored by the Ministry of Training and Employment Ontario. They're a big partner in making this happen. So I have to plug them in, I have to give them that plug. But Andrew, maybe you want to talk a little bit about your experiences with Digital Accessible and sort of how you came about to the equation of this company.
Yeah, well, I'm going to reiterate what the other two said. Just thanks for having us on. And I guess at the end of last year, I took the course with Mohawk. I have a background in multimedia. So that partnered with finishing the course, there was a good fit. And been with the team for about a month now, and it's just been amazing. Hit the ground running and just go. So it's been fantastic.
Well, that's great to hear. So what have you been doing for the team, like in terms of your job, the tasks that you're doing? What are you doing?
Video production and just making sure it's up to the accessibility standard. And then recently started doing some social media content as well. So they keep me busy.
And of course, all in an accessible format, right? That's the
absolutely, 100%.
And that's what you've learned in the program too.
Yes, yeah. So again, my background in multimedia partnered with the course. It was a great fit.
Oh, that's excellent to hear. Now I'm going to throw a question over to Juan. So Juan, tell us a little bit about what your company does. Like what kind of services do you provide?
Correct. So we help organizations really understand what their accessibility needs are, so they can in turn help users with disabilities get access to their products. So a lot of the times we provide training, we provide gap analysis, audits, or automated exams just to really understand what different accessibility obstacles are for people with disabilities. And we offer consultation as well. So we help them every single step of the way to really understand how accessibility can be in the development life cycle of an IT project.
Wow. So it's actually, so do you do like a web accessibility audits, or like how do
Correct.
you?
It is web accessibility. So anything related to digital, whether it's going to be a mobile app, a website, depending on what stage they are, whether it's going to be later on the application has been built. So we go do an audit, provide a accessibility feedback in terms of what needs to be done, and then we work one-on-one with the development team to ensure that accessibility is fixed. Or we can work early on before the application has been created. We will work with the business owners, we will work with the developers as well as with the testers to really help integrate accessibility and what it means for each of the roles.
So Mark, are you finding now with sort of deadlines upcoming in terms of compliance with AODA and, and companies want to be more compliant. They want to have more visitors to their websites and making sure that they're accessible. Are you finding there's a big surge in that now?
Well, Frank, it's like almost everything. When the deadlines are coming up, everyone has the best of intentions, but not always the best of execution of actually meeting those deadlines. So the initial deadline of Jan 1, 2021, in which everyone had to be compliant, it came, and I think it snuck up on a lot of people. Not everyone, but it snuck up on a lot. And with everything that has been going on in 2019, 2020, that's not that surprising. So what we found is by being there to support our clients and any company that's out there that needs to meet the mandate and be able to report once the reporting mandate comes around, which is the next sort of milestone that is looming on people's schedules. We're here to help them do it, because becoming compliant, it can be really complex, and our mantra is to simplify it for them and to support them and to work with them, their internal teams, their stakeholders, their development teams, and help them actually meet the requirements to be compliant with all the AODA, or even with some of our American clients, the ADA.
Okay, so it's interesting. Yeah, compliance is, that's the thing. There is a lot to do, and so you kind of empower these organizations to create a pathway for them to find out what tools they have, how do they do the reporting for the ministries, because they have to do the compliance with that. So there is a lot involved. So it's interesting how, with the recent pandemic, how things have changed. Like operations are operating remotely, just like we're doing this interview. We would have been in the studio, but now we're doing the interview here. But we're still communicating. We're still doing these things.
Well, so think about it this way, Frank. There was a time when it was normal for people to be in the office, where I think the norm right now is for people to be working from their home office. So you can see where I am right now, which is definitely not in downtown Toronto. It's more in downtown Toronto bedroom. And and with that, that means that many more people are accessing their office, their life, and everything through this digital means.
It's exactly that. And you know what? We're going to take a brief commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about working remotely, because you're opening up many opportunities for a lot of our graduates that are coming through, learning how to work remotely. This is nothing new. So we'll be back after this important message. So don't go anywhere.
Hey guys, my name is Aiden Lee. I am one of your hosts for Youth Connect, but today I have some Holton news that I want to share with you guys today. And specifically, something that I want to share with you guys is a special opportunity to be part of a community, to be part of a youth council called HIDAC. Now, what is HIDAC, you say? HIDAC is a short term for the Holton Youth Disability Advisory Council, HYDAC. HIDAC, pretty cool. Now, HIDAC is for all youth from ages 14 to 29, and our Youth Advisory Council is made up of young people of all abilities, and we believe that we can make a difference in our communities and the Holton region. Our goal is to empower our youth to have a voice, to influence, to encourage participation, build awareness and acceptance. Individually, we each have something important to offer, and as a group, we can learn and grow and create positive change that benefits everyone around us. It is such an amazing program. I am the communications officer, and I have been part of it since the very beginning for almost 2 years. And you know what? I have made so many new friends, and I've just had such a enjoyable experience, because honestly, you get to meet people, you get to talk about concerns that you have. So if you're a person who really wants to discuss about, this has been happening in my community and I want to talk about it, guess what? Being part of this helps you, talk about the things that you want to talk about. And if you ever noticed, guys, in the public library, specifically Oakville and Milton, you'll see some sensory toys. We raised enough money so that we gained awareness about how important sensory toys are for people with disabilities, including myself. And basically, we tried to change how people perceive disabilities, and and have a way to calm down. And I want to talk to you guys right now about what are the benefits of joining HIDAC. Because, HIDAC sounds cool and all, but really, what is there? What does it have to offer? Well, let me list just a few things, okay? It won't be too much. So you guys got networking, you got sharing resources and ideas, you got motivation and support, you got, again, talking through community issues and finding solutions, creating awareness, encouraging inclusion, acceptance, social opportunities, learning new things, always good, and creating positive change. So what do you need to do to be a member of HIDAC? Well, the rules are quite simple. You know what? They're simple rules that are commonly used everywhere. You gotta listen and you have to learn. You have to be respectful to all members and their opinions. You have to be open to new ideas and open concepts. You need to bring your ideas to the table. You need to be actively take part in discussions, and you need to create positive change. That's it. Now, if you're still not convinced of joining HIDAC, I bet you wonder, why should I join? I've heard about all these things, but really, why should I join? Now, you're going to meet new people. Pretty cool to meet new people. You're going to make new friends, which is even better. You're going to have a voice, and you will be heard by your peers, which is always amazing. You're going to have fun. Trust me, we have lots of fun. We get to learn new things. You can be part of a community of change makers. It's always nice to be part of people who can change things. You're going to make a difference in your community. And did I mention that you're going to meet new people? Come on, meeting new people is so awesome, because those could be potential friends. And if you're a person who has trouble making friends, guess what? You're going to make lots of friends at HIDAC. So here's the thing. How do I contact a HIDAC group? Well, all you have to type in is holtonwydac.weebly.com. Now, Holton Wydac, you know how to spell Holton, but it's YDAC, just how you spell HIDAC. .weebly.com, and then you will go to the contact page and you just sign up. So I do hope that you guys consider joining HIDAC to join our community. But for now, this has been Holton News, and this is Aiden Lee signing off. Ciao.